Hello, everyone, and welcome to a little special video after finishing the Wolfenstein 3D and Spear of Destiny Knife Only No Healing Challenge that which rules I applied myself. Like the only two rules were that I can heal after I started stabbing the boss, and what was the second rule? Oh man, I forgot. Like the other, like I can kill all the other enemies with weapons and then just concentrate on the boss, I guess. And I can't heal when I start stabbing the boss. I think that was it. So here I made the here I made a tier list of all the bosses and how I ranked them after I was done with all of them. So let's just wait for this. It's not very long. It's just what I've done. So I will talk about each boss after this is finished. So as you can see, to the fifth tier, I guess C tier, I've put Otto, Shabs, and Angel of Death. In B tier, I put Trans and Gretel, and to A tier, Hans and Ubermutant. SS tier, of course, Death Knight, because he was definitely the hardest to deal with. And S tier, everyone else. I can already tell you that everyone else will be in S tier. But let's just finish and I will stop the video because it's a little longer. Just on the same frame, so I'll just stop it. Okay. So here is my ranking. The ranking is also defined by the map design of the boss level. It actually is important. Map design of the map is important because of, I'll show you soon why. But I remember mentioning that Hans is harder than Hitler. I said after I finished with Hans that I think he is harder than Hitler, but I actually changed my opinion here. I actually think Hitler is harder because he has more HP and he has those two phases. You know, when he's slow, and I think he's not shooting as his reaction to shoot is not as fast, and then it can be a big change when you drop them when he drops his mecha suit. He becomes faster, both shooting and running, and it can be a problem because it takes a little to get used to, and you might take a stupid hit because of that. So I honestly think Hitler is harder than Hans. So I'm gonna talk about Angel of about the. I'll go from the C tier to SS tier. So I think the weakest two bosses are definitely Otto and Chaps. And here, I'll go to the last map. Actually, no. I wanted to talk about Otto's map, I guess, the boss map. So thankfully, all these enemies, I didn't have to deal with them, and immediately I'll go face him. So I want to mention that my first three attempts to do any knife only on the boss were on Hans, right? As you can see here, I made a picture of my playlist, and I was keeping death tally of all the enemies. And with Hans Gross, I have 5 fails. But 3 of these fails were my very early attempts to do knife only on the boss. And then I decided that I'm not gonna do Wolfenstein 3D bosses in order. Instead, I'm gonna go from the easiest to hardest. And I did Hans last, so he should technically be the hardest, but I've changed my opinion later on about it. So let's talk about auto here. Uh, the thing is, projectile bosses are doable without these little areas where you can circle around. These areas are very important with all the bosses that have hit scan. But with auto and shops, you actually don't. You could actually do knife only on them without these things. Because, well, he has no hit scan, so you can just avoid the projectiles, of course, if you are fast enough. It's definitely possible. So, when I died 3 times on Hans, I went straight to auto and did him first try. And then I went to shops and I did him first try too. So, yeah, auto and shops were no problem at all, even though I did not have as much experience. So I was fighting shops in here. And yeah, then Angel of Death. So Angel of Death. Here is the Angel of Death map 21 of SOD. And yeah, Angel of Death is right here. If Angel of Death would be located deeper in the map, which means I would have to alert big chunk of ghosts. For example, he would be like right here, or like right here, or here, for example. Then Angel of Death would be almost impossible to do. Because I have my first attempt on Angel of Death was a fail, but I was doing a different tactic. I mean, I wasn't thinking about any tactic back then when I did my first attempt, and so I alerted most of the ghosts on the map. And yeah, it was a problem because I got hurt by them. Though Angel of Death killed me there. Actually, it was his projectile. Then on second attempt, I alerted almost every ghost in the map, and basically he was surrounded by ghosts. So even if I used guns against the ghosts, it would not help. I would not be able to do Angel of Death like at all. He walked around with the ghosts basically hand in hand all the time. I would have no chance to do it. But because Angel of Death is right here, you start right here. So you just go here, go behind the structure where you spawned in, and go right here and do a little peekaboo. The only ghost that will see you, I think, is this one. If you stay in this area all the time, it's either this one or this one because oh no, I think it's this one. This is the only ghost that will get ordered and will pester you when you are knifing Angel of Death. And it really is not a big problem because, as you know, Angel of Death, when he fires 3 projectiles in a row, it's like, I think it's like one of his attacks, he gets tired and gets stuck for like, what, 4 or 5 seconds? And you can get like 10 to 12 stabs in easily. You just have to look around the ghost. So that's why Angel of Death is C tier. He would be literally impossible if he was, like I said, he was here, or here, because I would alert most of the ghosts and that will make it absolutely impossible to get Angel of Death. But because he is here, he's the C tier. So yeah, now let's talk about B tier and why Hans is A tier. So Trans and Gretel. Um, so let's go to the maps, right? Trans to now boss. Okay, and here we go to E5 boss. So basically, Gretel's right here. And these little sections right here are very ideal in the circling around stabbing hiding tactic. That's how I call it. And maybe this too, but this is a little too big, I guess. But yeah, Gretel is easy. She always follows you. She's one of those bosses with behavior of just following you around, always getting close to you. So you just wait and you get a few stabs in. And if you time it right, you can get even more stabs in. And she will be in like she will start shooting, you hide, you stab. She will again start shooting, you hide, you stab. You know? You can see it in video that sometimes you are able to do that, but not all the time. Sometimes I can get just two steps in or just one, but yeah, you are just around these corners and you stab her. And she was pretty easy. I think I had one failed attempt on her, and she was the I did her after Otto and Chaps. Yes, she was the third one. She was after Otto and Chaps. So yeah. And Trans. Well, here is Trans map. I would say you go either here or here, and yet again, this is a good area to do the same thing as with Gretel, basically. Oh, I explained with Gretel. So yeah, I personally think that the Gretel and Trans are B tier. Then we have Ubermutant and Hans in A tier. So why is Hans? Yes, I have 5 fails on Hans, as you can see here. But like I've mentioned, my very first knife only on both attempts were on Hans. So I was not that ready. And the other two was when I came back after I got all the other Wolfenstein 3D bosses, and yeah, he was the last one I did. But let's look at the boss map, at Hans' boss map. So, and I think I've mentioned in the description, Hans would be literally impossible to do if these little things weren't here. If these little walls, and here is the light, which is annoying. There is no other area in the map where you can do the circling around, stabbing, hiding tactic. But the fact is, with Hans is a little annoying because you have very little space, just 2 blocks, and one area right here is blocked by a light everywhere. See? 4 lamp. And that is the reason Hans is A tier, because of the map design of this boss map. This is very tight space, and the lamps are slowing you down basically. So that's why Hans is A tier, because of the map design. It's not really because of Hans himself. Okay, Uber Mutant. With Uber Mutant, I only have one fail. However, another thing about Uber Mutant is that it Castle boss. Okay, here we are. it's really difficult to find area where you can stop Uber Mutant. That's the thing. It took me a while to find that this space right here is ideal for circling around tactic. And my very first attempt, which was a fail, I tried to get him here in the hallway instead. But it's doable, but much more difficult in this hallway. There is no other area which is ideal. I don't think so. I really don't think there is another area other than this secret right here. This you see these 6 blocks of wall. Yeah, I really don't think there's another area where you can deal with Uber Mutant knife only pretty much just fine. So yeah, uh, that's why he's 8 here because he's much faster also than the Grosse siblings, and because it's very difficult to find a good spot, which I have found, but well, took me 2 attempts. But I was like thinking a little out of the box because I had a feeling Wilmington really can be fought here with knife only in this section where he is. You would be too vulnerable to shootings, to his shooting. I mean, so yeah, that's why I put Mutant in 8 here. And in S tier we have Hitler, Fettgeschicht, or Fettgesicht, I don't know how to pronounce him, even though I learned German long ago on primary school, in primary school, but I don't remember much, even from pronunciation anymore. So yeah, and Barnacle Wilhelm. Barnacle and General Fettgesicht or Geschicht are basically the same. The same behavior, just like the Grosse siblings. Literally the same behavior. These two have. They are the same basically. There's nothing different from them apart from that they are two different bosses in one in Wolfriedi and one in SOD. So why are these guys in S tier? Because um, basically, if you think about it, Fettgesicht and Barnacle are upgraded auto and chops because they have hit scan. And I have not mentioned yet that I have noticed 2 different boss behaviors in Wolfenstein 3D and Spear of Destiny. One is the one that Hitler, Ubermutant, and Gross siblings had. Basically, they always come right at you. All the time. They come right at you. They are not scared. They will go in front of you. I mean, they will go at you, you know? And then we have General, Barnacle, Death Knight, Otto, Shops, and Angel of Death. I think Angel of Death behaves a little differently, but I feel like he's the slowest boss. Like, he walks the slowest, but I could be wrong about that. I think he behaves probably similarly to those 5. Basically, they will back out from you. They will try to back out from you, not get as close to you as you can, as these 5. Okay? They go out, they try to go out of your way, but if you come too close to them. That's the interesting thing, that they don't all behave the same. And basically, the projectile only and bosses that act like that, I consider the easiest bosses to do knife only, while the ones that have hit scan are the hardest bosses to do knife only. And because of the hit scan, the behavior plus hit scan makes the is the problem here. So yeah. Okay, let's talk about Hitler because I haven't talked about his boss map yet. So okay, here's Hitler, right? Few officers take them down, of course, and we have these steel walls right here in the middle, which make perfect circling around, stabbing, hiding, knife only tactic. So yeah, basically yeah. If you think about it, same as Trans, Gretel, and Hans. But Hitler has most HP out of these guys. And like I said, it can surprise you that when he gets out of his mecha suit, if you destroy his mecha suit, he becomes much faster, right? He shoots faster and he runs faster, and it can get you. It can surprise you because it's a change of his behavior, in my opinion. Even though I only have how many fails? I think I have two. Yes, I have two failed attempts on Hitler, and he was the fourth boss I did. It was Otto Doctor, Shaps, Gretel, and Hitler. He was the fourth boss I was doing, knife only. Okay, so yeah. Then I did General Fett Gesicht, where I had two failed attempts as well. And basically, he was the first. He was the first of this boss behavior plus hit scan that I faced, because these three all have hit scan and behave similarly. That they back out from you. They don't go too close to the player, but they instead try to back out. So yeah, he was the first. But let's go to the map. Let's check the map. Okay, here's the map. So this is his arena. So we have plenty of space to make some good tactics here, because you have all these areas where you can do the circling around and stabbing hiding tactic, as I call it. It's very long term, but yeah. And I think I was in my successful attempt. He was somewhere here. I was hiding here, so I can lure him closer because I'm further away from him. So he would come here, then would run and stab him. And the thing with these bosses, with exception of Dev Knight, these bosses that behave like these three and these three, with exception of Death Knight, you can often get many hits in. They are not very fast uh, when you get close to them. I think the reason why is that they still try to back out from you and they will forget to shoot at you. That's why you can often get many stabs on them, because they try to back out from you instead shoot at you. So you get a lot of space to do that. Though Angel of Death is a little different, okay? Because of how he shoots. But these four, yeah, on these four, this works like charm. Angel of Death has his problem when he shoots those three projectiles and he's tired, stuck on the same place for 5 seconds, so you get like 12 hits there. So he has other downside, much worse downside. Despite that, I still think Angel of Death is a little harder than Shaps and Otto. Okay, so that's about it. Barnacle is literally the same thing as Fettgesicht, because as you can see, the arena he is in is very similar to Fettgesicht's arena. You have these areas where you can do the circling around, stabbing, hiding tactic, and you have these little nooks and crannies right here, which will help you hide as well. So yeah, actually, even the arenas, Fettgesicht and Barnacle, are very similar to each other. Just like they are literally the same boss, with same behavior and same weapons. And well, the last boss is Death Knight. He was the very last boss I have done. So I'm gonna. How is it with the bosses exactly? I mean, it was. What am I saying? What am I trying to say? Okay, I wanted to say in which order I went with bosses. So, Wolfenstein 3D, Otto, then Shaps, then Gretel, then Hitler, then General, and then Hans. And here I went in order: Trance, Barnacle, Ubermutant. Then I skipped Death Knight after two fails. After two fails, I skipped Death Knight, went to Angel of Death, and came back to Death Knight. So Death Knight was the very last boss I did. Despite that, I have five fails on him. I even recorded even posted the fifth fail because I wanted to show you that Death Knight just behaves differently than every other boss in the game. He acts like these guys. He backs out from you like these guys, right? He backs out from you. But if you try to stab him, he's much faster when shooting. He doesn't back out like the other guys. He instead tries to shoot at you. And I would say, he's much faster at shooting than the other guys too. Like when he has his sprite, when he's going to ready to start shoot, you know what I mean. I don't know how to call it in an easier way. But yeah, when he has his sprite and he goes to shoot, he gets his shoots off much faster than the other guys that behave the same. So General, Barnacle, Otto, Shaps, and Angel of Death. That's why he's so difficult. And also the arena isn't very helpful because these little squares right here is the only decent area in this map where you can do the circling around stabbing hiding tactic. And as you have seen, the way I dealt with Death Knight. So let's say he's right here and I am like right here, right? Oh, no, he's right here. I'm right here, right? He can come from any side, actually. It's actually very hard to predict from which side he comes. No matter if I am here and he is here, or I am here and he is here. Like you see, I'm on the other side, he's here. He can come from here, right? But I also have to back out a bit so he comes closer because he will, if you stand right here, uh, he might not always come at you. Instead, he will back out like either here or here, making this boss fight even more annoying. So basically, what I have to do, I lure him in this area and back out. He will come like right here or here or here. No matter it matters where I am currently standing right now. He comes and I have to immediately run and stab him and back out because he will try to shoot me. Or I can do it like right here, like two blocks behind this walls, and he should be able to either come here or here, let's say. And I have to go very fast, stab him, and go back. And this process is very, very long. Like, yeah, it takes extra patience to beat Death Knight knife only. Like, much more extra patience than every other Wolfenstein 3D and Spear of Destiny boss. And that's pretty cool, Ted. He is much more difficult and more unpredictable than other bosses. So yeah, I would say that's about it, about my explanation. However, I want to say how I play the game. So I use WASD, I used EC Wolf Source Port, and I used always run option, which EC Wolf and I believe LZ Wolf also has all the time. With DOS and SDL, in original Wolfie and Spear of Destiny, I don't think there is always run option and you have to use run button manually all the time. So I would not recommend doing this challenge on DOS or SDL because of this. And I do remember, I don't know if this was fixed in later versions of SDL, but I remember there is some kind of glitch in SDL that even if you are behind a wall, a hit scan can still get you. I do remember this weird glitch back in the day, but as of late, I have not played many SDL mods, so I'm not sure if this glitch still occurs in SDL or no. But that would be like the one big reason why I wouldn't try this challenge in SDL. In DOS, I guess it's doable. I am pretty bad at Wolfenstein on DOS. I think I would have a very hard time knife only on DOS. I'll be perfectly honest with you. And I also use mouse movement, not just WASD, left mouse to shoot, space bar to open doors, and left out to strafe. I was also thinking to use right mouse button for strafing, but I've been using left out for years, and yeah, it would take me a while to get used to strafe button on my right mouse button. But I think it's doable change. I might do that. So yeah, that's how I play. That's how I played. That's how I played against these bosses. Though I normally play like that. So I just wanted to tell you that what options I had on and how I play. Obviously, keyboard only. I would not be ever able to do this challenge. No freaking way I would be able to do this keyboard only. Like, if there are some good keyboard only players out there, who knows? Maybe Russian Storm, for example, she can do some great stuff keyboard only. So I really admire her that she plays Wolfenstein keyboard only. I would never be able to be that good. So yeah, if she ever attempts knife only, of course, but that depends on her. I'm not going to encourage her to do that, to do this if she doesn't want to. So, however, yeah, I don't know what else to say, guys. I feel like I wanted to mention something else, but I don't know what. So, um, I feel like I mentioned everything I wanted, guys. So thanks. So everyone who is still here listening to my insight to this challenge, thank you, and I'll see you again in the next playthrough, whatever I'm gonna do. Bye bye.